The San Francisco 49ers are stirring up the draft room once again, and the critics are already sounding the alarm. General Manager John Lynch and head coach Lynch-Shanahan just made the move to draft Indiana running back Kaelon Black in the 3rd round, but history is not on their side. Fans remember all too well the past struggles with high-round running back picks, and many are questioning if this is another reach that could haunt the team all season long.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
But that is not the only move that has everyone talking in the Bay Area today. John Lynch and Lynch-Shanahan also pulled the trigger on defensive end Romolo Height, a player who made his mark with a relentless motor at Texas Tech. While the front office is preaching conviction in their draft board, you have to wonder if these unconventional picks are the key to finding hidden gems or just another chapter in a controversial drafting trend. It is not just about the running game, as the analytical community is digging deep into the numbers to see just how much the Niners are defying expectations. Data shows that San Francisco is consistently reaching for prospects far above their consensus rankings, with wide receiver De'Zhaun Stribling being picked at number 33, despite a much lower projection. Whether it is a brilliant strategy or a head-scratching gamble, the pressure is mounting to see if these rookies can prove the skeptics wrong. Speaking of that big wide receiver pick, De'Zhaun Stribling is already declaring himself the perfect fit for this high-octane offense. With a background playing under Lane Kiffin and a mindset built on elite blocking and physicality, he is ready to make an immediate impact alongside Brock Purdy. We are breaking down every angle of these draft day decisions, so stay in the loop and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to catch every update on the San Francisco 49ers. Ever get that feeling of déjà vu? If you're a San Francisco 49ers fan, the team's latest 3rd-round pick might have just triggered some serious post-traumatic stress. The Niners just grabbed Indiana running back Kaelon Black in the 3rd round, and if you head over to social media, the consensus is already loud. It's a reach. And honestly, it's hard to blame the skeptics. Just say the names Trey Sermon or Tyrion Davis-Price to any member of the faithful, and watch them visibly flinch. Under the John Lynch and Lynch-Shanahan regime, the 49ers' track record with 3rd-round running backs is, to put it mildly, a graveyard of lost potential. From Joe Williams to Isaac Guerendo, the list of misses is long. Aside from a flash of success with Elijah Mitchell, the front office has actually had better luck unearthing gems like Raheem Mostert or Matt Breida off the scrap heap than they have actually drafting them early. So is Kaelon Black doomed to follow in those footsteps? On paper, he's a fascinating, if raw, project. He's coming off a 1,000-yard season with the Hoosiers, boasting a solid 4.45 40-yard dash and a stout 211-pound frame. But here's the rub. He was a total non-factor in the passing game last year, hauling in just 4 catches all season. That's a tough look for a Shanahan-style back who needs to be a Swiss Army knife. However, there is a glimmer of hope. Black is a surprisingly polished pass blocker, a trait that could earn him trust in the building much faster than raw speed ever could. With Christian McCaffrey clearly occupying the throne, Black likely won't be the starter, but in a league where running backs drop like flies, his number could be called sooner than we think. If he can secure that backup role, he might just prove that the 3rd time, or perhaps the 10th time, is the charm. Do you think Black will break the curse, or are we just watching the same story unfold all over again? Sound off in the comments below. Hit that like button if you want to see this team finally land a home run pick, and make sure you're subscribed for more Niners updates. After all, they have to be due for a win eventually, right? Right. Ever had a dream so vivid it felt like a premonition? Well, for the newest 49ers draft class, that dream became a reality. After a whirlwind day 2 of the 2026 NFL Draft, John Lynch and Lynch-Shanahan pulled back the curtain on why they stood by their board, ignoring the noise and grabbing the prospects they believe are ready to change the game. From the relentless energy of Romolo Height to the hard-nosed running style of Kaelon Black, the message from the 49ers front office is crystal clear. Conviction beats convention every single time. Let's start with the talk of the town, Kaelon Black. Critics wondered why the Niners prioritized a running back over interior offensive line help, but Lynch and Shanahan aren't sweating the optics. They see a bell cow, a kid who survived the trenches of high-level college football and carries the exact, gritty mentality that defines the San Francisco locker room. And as for the passing game, don't let the stats fool you. Between a solid showing at the Senior Bowl and a knack for the outside zone, Black is ready to learn from the best in the business, Christian McCaffrey. The kid even joked about a dream where he envisioned himself in the red and gold. A bit of destiny, perhaps, to go along with all that raw talent. Then there's the defensive engine they just added in Romolo Height. We're talking about a guy whose get-off speed is the stuff of nightmares for opposing tackles. Lynch admitted they made a strategic trade back, holding their breath and hoping Height would still be there at 70. When he was, they didn't hesitate. Height describes his style as playing chess against offensive linemen, and with defensive guru Raheem Morris at the helm, the potential to turn that 20-sack team stat around is huge. He's not just a prospect. He's a guy ready to wreak havoc right alongside Nick Bosa. But the draft isn't just about the incoming talent. It's about the culture. Lynch took a moment to express some genuine, heartfelt appreciation for Dee Winters, who was traded to the Cowboys, a testament to the fact that this organization knows the human side of the business as well as they know the X's and O's. So what's the takeaway? The Niners aren't drafting for headlines. They're drafting for hair on fire, effort, and guys who can handle the grind. As we head into the next phase of the offseason, the real question is how quickly these rookies can internalize the culture and start competing for snaps. It's a young, hungry group, and they're stepping into an environment where good enough never makes the cut. What do you think, Niners faithful? Did Lynch and Shanahan nail the day too haul, or is the lack of immediate OL help going to haunt us? Smash that subscribe button, drop a comment with your take, and remember, in the NFL, you don't build a championship team in a day, but you certainly start by making the right calls. Ever feel like your favorite team is playing 4D chess while the rest of the league is playing checkers? Well, if you are a San Francisco 49ers fan, you might be starting to wonder if Kyle Shanahan is actually playing a different game entirely, or if he is just overthinking the draft to the point of self-sabotage. We need to talk about the reaching trend that is once again haunting the Niners draft room. Recent data from SF Data 9 paints a pretty damning picture. When you compare San Francisco's picks to the consensus big board, they are consistently the biggest outliers in the NFL. And here is the kicker. It historically hasn't worked. Look at their track record. Of their 20 biggest reaches in recent years, only 3 have actually finished their rookie contracts with the team, and only 1 earned a second deal. That is not just a statistical anomaly. That is a roster-building nightmare. Let's look at this year's Day 2 haul. At pick 33, they grabbed De'Zhaun Stribling. Now on the consensus board, he was sitting at 91. That is a massive 58-spot reach. While pick 70, Romolo Height was a relatively modest 7-spot reach, which I can actually live with given the team's defensive needs. They immediately doubled down on the chaos at pick 90. They selected Kaelon Black, a player ranked 180th overall. That is a 90-spot reach. To spend a third-round pick on a running back when you have glaring holes in the secondary and the offensive line, that is the kind of decision that keeps general managers up at night. Now look, every team reaches occasionally. If you love a guy, you take him. But when your entire draft philosophy seems to ignore the value provided by the wider football community, you aren't just gambling, you are fighting the tide. With 4 picks coming up in the 4th round, the Niners have a chance to pivot and find some genuine value on Day 3. But history suggests they are going to chase their own shadows again. Do you think the Niners front office has a secret genius plan? Or is this blatant mismanagement of draft capital that is going to cost them their championship window? Let me know your take in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that subscribe button for more hard-hitting analysis. Because in the NFL, the draft isn't just about picking names. It's about not being the smartest person in the room, right up until the moment you realize you are the only one left standing alone. Ever wonder what it takes to actually thrive in Kyle Shanahan's notoriously complex 49ers offense? It isn't just about speed. It's about having a football IQ that can keep up with one of the sharpest minds in the NFL. That's why all eyes are on the Niners' latest draft pick, De'Zhaun Stribling. Coming in as the 33rd overall pick, Stribling isn't your typical rookie. His path to Santa Clara was anything but a straight line, bouncing from Washington State to Oklahoma State, and finally Ole Miss. And honestly, that travel might be his secret weapon. Stribling recently told reporters that moving through different college programs forced him to master multiple offensive schemes and concepts, making him a quick study for whatever Shanahan throws his way. He didn't get the official word from John Lynch or Coach Shanahan until that life-changing phone call on draft day, following a long, sleepless night of anticipation. But he's clearly ready to get to work. What makes this match particularly intriguing is the physicality. We know Shanahan lives and dies by his receivers' ability to block for the run game. Stribling, having learned under Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, is already comfortable with the grit required to hold his own at the line of scrimmage. Plus, he gets the massive advantage of walking into a room with a veteran like Mike Evans. Stribling grew up watching him, and now he's getting a front row seat to greatness. When you combine his physicality, his run-after-catch potential, and most importantly, his reliable hands, he looks like a quintessential Niners target. He's there to be a safety valve for Brock Purdy and a glue piece for the entire roster. I want to hear from you. Do you think Stribling has what it takes to make an immediate impact this season, or does he need a year to adjust to the speed of the NFL? Drop your take in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed for all our 49ers coverage. Sometimes, it's not just about the talent you draft, but how perfectly that talent fits the culture.